They gave you a tax break, then they took it back. They promised home ownership, then they raised your taxes 9.5%. They saw your passport. They detained you anyway. 3 stories today. The IRS says your overtime is tax-free, but D.C. tried to tax it locally anyway. New York proposes the biggest property tax hike in 20 years, and Idaho agents detained U.S. citizens for hours during a raid. Let's break it down. February 18th, 2026. This is the Daily Signal. Story 1. The battle over tax-free overtime. The IRS confirmed it. Tax Tip 2026-06 makes overtime federally tax-free for workers earning under $150,000. This is the one big, beautiful bill designed to let you keep more of what you earn. If you're grinding through overtime to make ends meet, the federal government just said keep that money, no income tax. But within days, the D.C. Council tried to decouple and tax your overtime locally anyway. House Republicans passed H.J. Res. 142 to stop them. The lesson? Federal relief only works if your city doesn't cancel it out. Story 2. NYC's property tax bomb. Mayor Zohran Mamdani just proposed a 9.5% property tax increase, the first major hike in over 20 years, to close a $5.4 billion budget gap. Here's what that means. A $500,000 home, you pay $2,375 more per year. A $1 million property, nearly $5,000 extra annually. Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis said the city treats taxpayers like ATMs instead of cutting wasteful spending. And the kicker? Mamdani wants this tax hike on 3 million homes while pushing rent freezes. If you're a small property owner, your taxes jump 10%, but you can't raise rent to cover it. This isn't about affordability, it's about making home ownership impossible. Story 3. The Idaho raid lawsuit. The ACLU filed Rodriguez versus Porter over a mass immigration raid in Wilder, Idaho last October. Over 200 officers detained about 400 people for 4 hours, including U.S. citizens. They used armored trucks, helicopters, and flashbang grenades. One plaintiff, Juana Rodriguez, is a U.S. citizen born in Idaho. She and her 3-year-old son were zip-tied for hours. The lawsuit claims officers refused to let her feed her crying child. The legal question? Agents had a warrant for 5 people. Did that justify detaining 400, including citizens with valid documents? If a passport doesn't protect you from hours of detention, what does citizenship mean?